Good evening and welcome to MTV's news update for today, March 15, 2022. I'm Ashley Scotland. First, our top headlines. Relevant precautions will be taken in case COVID cases rise, Health Minister assures, following the removal of restrictions. AFC calls on government to subsidize flour price in light of 15% increase. Hydromet Department issues flood warning for March 16 to 19. And in sport, Leonora Track and Field Center renovations slated for mid-year completion. The question that has been in the mind of most Guyanese prior to the announcement of the removal of some COVID-19 preventative measures was, will these measures return if there is a spike in cases? Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony, at the sidelines of an event on Tuesday, assured that the relevant decisions will be made if such a scenario should occur. Rihanna Griffith has details.
Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony says that the reduction in COVID-19 cases has prompted the decision to remove some COVID-19 measures. However, he posited that if there is an increase in COVID cases, the relevant precautions will be taken.
If we notice that things are going up, obviously we'll have to take the relevant precautions. So this would take the form of both public health measures and other measures that are necessary.
Among the relaxed COVID-19 restrictions announced on Monday evening by President Dr. Irfan Ali is the mandatory mask requirement for persons accessing public spaces. Citizens are also no longer required to produce proof of vaccination. Additionally, the COVID-19 restrictions on gatherings and social activities have been removed. However, Dr. Anthony maintains that it is not mandatory that people follow these new guidelines, especially workspaces who wishes to adhere under all protocols.
If workplaces want to keep masking, if workplaces would want to have a vaccination policy in place, they should. So we are not telling people don't have these things.
The health minister is reminding persons that there are still active cases of COVID-19 and has since encouraged them to wear a face mask in high-risk areas and also get vaccinated. He also assured that there is capacity to handle these cases should they rise again. It is now almost 2 years since Guyana recorded its first case of the COVID-19 virus. During this period all along, the country has been operating with restrictions in place both locally and for international travel. Rihanna Griffith for MTV's News Updates.
Despite not being able to procure the Pfizer vaccine for children aged 5 to 11, Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony says he believes it is a good idea to go ahead with the full reopening of schools for full face-to-face learning after the Easter term.
What we have seen in kids is that even if they get infected, they get a very mild form of the infection. The few that ended up in hospitals had comorbidities, and they had some very severe comorbidities. Some had cancer-related types of comorbidities, and others had other significant comorbidities. So generally, children, when they get sick, they recover very quickly.
However, he posited that talks are ongoing with CARICOM and other partners who may possibly help Guyana to access these vaccines at the earliest time possible. He said that they have already submitted the number of vaccines needed for this population to CARICOM. In the meanwhile, he is encouraging persons within the 12 to 17 age group to get vaccinated. The Private Sector Commission has welcomed the government's decision to remove all the COVID-19 measures that were in place. The PSC believes it will be a good thing for the country. More from Noan Williams.
President Dr. Irfan Ali on Monday evening signed an order that officially removes all the COVID-19 measures that were in place to cushion the spread of the virus. This move has been deemed by Chairman of the Private Sector Commission, Paul Chung, as good for the economy. However, he emphasized that persons must continue to be careful since there are still COVID cases in the country.
I think it's a good thing for our country, and but notwithstanding, we still need to continue to be careful
Yeah.
and pick up the vaccine, and that's the only way because
In addition to the economy benefiting, Mr. Chong said persons can be employed or regain their jobs since the pandemic had limited businesses from operating at full capacity.
businesses gonna work at full capacity because one, they didn't have enough staff or because they were affected by COVID.
During the pandemic, cost of commodities had increased significantly owing to the supply issues and shortages that were experienced globally and even in Guyana. The chairman said he is optimistic that this can be addressed by the full reopening of the economy.
We're hoping now that, I mean, um, that we'll see some tangible impact from these measures, not only in Guyana but across.
Some countries around the world have already embraced the full reopening of their countries. With the removal of the restrictions in Guyana, public spaces, religious institutions, and facilities can proceed to normalize operations. Masks are no longer mandatory, but persons are urged to wear them in public spaces. Luan Williams for MTV's News Update.
You're watching MTV's News Update. More news on the other side of the break. Stay with us.
Bison Windows and Doors is having a big New Year sale. Hurry now and save on aluminum sash windows with insect repellent, going only for $14,900, VAT inclusive. Available in black or white frames, tinted or reflective glass. Also at Bison's, buy 10 windows and get one bathroom window absolutely free. Offer available while stocks last. So hurry to Bison Windows and Doors, Lot 1228, Eccles Industrial Site, and save.
The Central Housing and Planning Authority is kindly asking residents living in communities under the management of the department to desist from storing construction materials on roadways and road shoulders. Residents are also being asked not to block roadways or drains with construction materials. According to clauses 12 and 13 of the amended Agreement of Sale of Restrictive Covenants attached to titles issued from 2012, no storage of materials comprising earth, sand, stone, blocks, cements, timber and steel or mixing of concrete shall be permitted on the road or the road shoulders. Any materials on the road or the road shoulders must be cleared within 24 hours of being placed thereon. Residents are reminded that failure to adhere to clauses 12 and 13 will result in a penalty of $10,000 being charged per day of default. A message from the Central Housing and Planning Authority.
Modern Optical Service has made it even better by introducing its budgeted spectacle line, starting as low as $10,000 for single vision lens and $12,000 for bifocal lens, available in tinted or clear, complete spectacles at affordable prices. So hurry down to our main office at 316 Middle Street or Lot 14 Diamond Public Road opposite Demerara Bank. Enjoy over 60 years of eye care experience at affordable prices. Modern Optical Service, your eye care professionals.
FiberTech materials are used in a multitude of ways, from repairing and fabrication of auto body, fishing and household items. We have available various fiberglass mattings, resin, mold releases, brushes and rollers for all of your repair needs. We offer technical advice and free training to ensure you get the job done. For further information, call us at 220-6907 or 220-9192.
This is MTV's News Update. Welcome back. The Hydromet Department has issued a flood warning for persons living in low-lying coastal, riverine, and flood-prone areas for this week. Residents are asked to take the necessary precautions to safeguard life and property, while road users are asked to exercise caution as visibility reduces during showers and roads will become slippery. The Hydrometeorological Service said they have recorded the highest rainfall thus far at Charity in Region 2 during Monday and Tuesday. Through Wednesday and Saturday, coastal areas can expect partly cloudy skies with scattered to occasional showers through Wednesday and Saturday. Remaining inland, regions 6 to 10 can expect cloudy skies with light to heavy showers. The healthcare plan for all 10 administrative regions in Guyana will now be designed to cater for each region's needs. This is being done in an effort to create a more robust primary healthcare system. This is according to Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony. Here are the details.
For a number of years, the Ministry of Health has been governing the operations of regional primary healthcare facilities with the development of a nationwide healthcare plan rather than an individualized one. However, each region will now have its individual primary healthcare development plan. This was revealed by Subject Minister Dr. Frank Anthony on Tuesday.
Different patterns of disease. So our morbidity patterns are different by regions, mortality patterns might be different, and therefore we cannot have a plan that is a one-size-fits-all for the whole country. Of course, there will be core things that would cut across all the regions, but there would be some level of changes and specificities depending on the problems that we have in those regions.
According to Dr. Anthony, the personalized plan will pave the way for better health education while emphasizing that there is a need for this.
We are closer to the community. We'll be able to detect a lot of things earlier once we train the people who are at these facilities to make those decisions, to have the tools to be able to do these things.
He further noted that with this plan, each region will be able to outline clearly on what type of medications they need, while highlighting that access to medication has always been a challenge for many citizens.
In cases at the central level, you can have meds that are available, but on the periphery and where people need it the most, they cannot access it. Now, we don't want that to happen. We want to have a more sensitive system so that before shortages pop up at the primary care level, at these different health centers or health posts, before it even pops up, we must have a system that tells us that this is going to, they need some additional medication, and so that we can send the medication in early.
He further emphasized the need for healthcare workers to develop a good relationship with the public.
When people come to our system, we also have to imbue that compassion that health workers should be known for. And not that when people are coming or want to come to the health system, that they have some anxiety because they don't know if when they show up at this health center, if somebody is going to be rude to them.
These regional health plans will also accommodate persons with comorbidities who may not be able to go to these facilities. Rihanna Griffith for MTV's News Update.
The Alliance for Change is calling on the government to subsidize the price for flour as prices in goods and commodities continue to increase significantly. Here is more.
The Alliance for Change AFC party in a press statement explained that the price of oil and food staples have seen a significant increase, which is making the cost of living difficult for Guyanese. This can be attributed to the Russia-Ukraine crisis that has been affecting almost every sector across the world. In this regard, the party is calling on the government to subsidize the price of flour and undo the 15% increase on this food item. According to the AFC, the government is expected to see significant increases in revenues from the nation's oil exports as oil prices today stand at 105 USD per barrel. The party stated that the world wheat prices stand at $370 per ton, and with Ghana reportedly importing 55,000 tons in 2019, it will cost the state less than 6 million USD dollars to cover the full cost of the recent 40% spike in wheat prices. The state can easily afford to cover the cost of increased wheat prices by simply redirecting a small part of its increased oil revenues to keep the cost of flour affordable for those struggling in poverty, AFC said. The cost of wheat has also gone up by a whopping 40% globally, thereby impacting the national milling company, Namilco. Namilco said it can no longer sustain its operation at the current price for flour, and it must increase its prices by 15% with immediate effect to ensure the continued supply of the imported commodities. Luan Williams for MTV's News Update.
More news coming up after the break.
Region Paint from the US, a brand that's recognized worldwide. Special wholesale prices starting at $3,400 for the emulsion and $3,800 for the oil. 4 gallons bucket for just $12,000. Also, the Royal paints were crafted for people with a budget. Special introductory price on the semi-gloss top coat for just $1,500 per gallon and the roof and floor paint for just $5,500 for 1.5 gallons. Come and visit our showroom at Lot 140B Quamina Street or call telephone 622-0601 or 504-3908 for more information. Grab onto these special prices with 30 shades and more to choose from while stocks last. Let's paint Guyana, everybody!
In just 2 years, oil production earned Guyana a whopping $608 million US dollars. These funds are being used to build bridges, roads, and other infrastructure to improve the lives of all Guyanese.
You can be a millionaire by only spending $100 on a Daily Million ticket. Simply pick any 5 numbers from 1 to 26, or you can buy a quick pick for your chance to win the Daily Millions. Purchase your tickets daily, Monday through Saturday, to get a chance to win $1 million every day. So, feeling lucky? Then buy a Daily Millions ticket today. Remember, a ticket today could make you rich today.
Are you building or renovating your home? Then come to Beeson for a wide range of aluminum and UPVC windows and doors. Get from single hung sash, awning, casement, sliding windows, plus sliding and swinging doors. All our products can be customized and fitted with insect screens and are sealed tight to withstand harsh weather conditions. At Beeson's, we also carry commercial, glass and French doors, showcases, aluminum louvers, curtain walls, aluminum rails, plus sliding and frameless shower doors. So look no further. Visit our showroom today at Lot 1228 Eccles Industrial Site or call 622-4197 or 623-4197. Beeson Windows and Doors, built with pride in Guyana by Guyanese.
You're tuned to MTV's News Update. The Center for Local Business Development has launched Accelerate Her 2022, which is a program aimed at empowering women in business. A call has also been issued for applications of the second cohort.
Accelerate Her 2022 is a program which provides Guyanese women with an opportunity to receive professional development and mentoring to foster personal growth and business success. The program targets local women owners, operators, and managers to build the leadership and business skills of women entrepreneurs to grow their companies across a wide variety of industries and sectors. Accelerate Her 2022 was launched on Tuesday. The 2022 program will run from May to August and is available free of cost. Last year, over 90 women entrepreneurs from 7 regions within various sectors applied to be a part of this program. From this list, 35 women were shortlisted for Phase 1 and a further 16 were shortlisted for Phase 2. The Women Chambers of Commerce and Industry is partnering with Accelerate Her to act as lead mentors for the program. The program is being funded by the Greater Guyana Initiative, funded by the Starbuck Block co-venturers ExxonMobil, Hess, and CNOC. For more information and to apply, visit centerguyana.com. Rihanna Griffith for MTV's News Update.
Several immigrants from Venezuela situated in Mabaruma recently graduated with vocational skills that were offered by the Guyana Foundation in collaboration with the United Nations Agency for Refugees. More from Lewin Williams.
This initiative was formed in collaboration with the Ghana Foundation and the United Nations Agency for Refugees UNHCR to provide immigrants with skill sets. Founder of the Ghana Foundation, Supriya Singh Boden, told News Update that the main objective was to assist these women in gaining skill sets so they can be able to open small and micro enterprises in food to make a living. Singh Boden explained that this will help them resort to other trades other than sex work.
And there are hundreds and hundreds of children there in the mix-up, and these women just leave the children in the camps and go to Port Kaituma, and they have to basically prostitute themselves to get money, and that's how they live.
These women were trained in catering, pastry making, and milkshake making. The training commenced in December 2021, and they graduated and received their certificates in March 2022.
And we even taught them how to do some of their own stuff like arepas and so that if they get stalls in the marketplace, then they could at least ply their trade and offer things that are Venezuelan, different to Guyanese, but it might sell because it's different.
The participants have expressed their gratitude for the opportunity to improve their skill sets.
Now when we decided the place Bangar, we do the schools for this for learn. We learn something more what we never know. Now we said it's like a privilege what we have now for put it in practice. Why we don't learn it, now we don't put it in practice everywhere. Now we don't know what we learn in the course.
So for this course, or this class is what she gave to me, because we learn plenty things that we didn't know, and we're glad because we get the opportunity to learn something more, and we could continue now to able to do our own business, small snack and things.
Luan Williams for MTV's News Update.
Here's tonight's court roundup.
US-based Guyanese Marcus Bisram was today freed of the murder charge brought on by the state after the Caribbean Court of Justice (CCJ) upheld his appeal. Bisram's team of attorneys, led by Darshan Ramdani, QC, had mounted an appeal with Ghana's Court of Final Resort after the Ghana Court of Appeals ruling that he stand trial for the 2016 murder of Berbice carpenter Fayaz Nairandat. Attorney Ramdani, QC, had asked the CCJ to strike down Section 72(1) and 2(2)(b) of the Criminal Law Procedure Act, which empowers the DPP to inter alia direct a magistrate to commit an accused person to stand trial in circumstances where said magistrate, after conducting a preliminary inquiry, discharges that accused person. He further asks the CCJ to declare a section of the Criminal Law Procedure Act unconstitutional. The matter was presided over by Justice Adrian Saunders, Justice Jacob Witt, Justice Winston Anderson, Justice Maureen Rajnath Lee, Justice Denise Barrow, Justice Andrew Burgess, and Justice Peter Jamadar. In delivering the court's ruling, President of the CCJ, Justice Saunders, noted that the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, Shalimar Ali Haq, SC, does not have the power to direct a magistrate to commit an accused person to stand trial. As such, Justice Saunders ordered that the decision made by the magistrate to discharge Bisram be restored. Further, the CCJ president noted that nothing prevents the DPP from re-arresting and charging Bishram if fresh evidence is found. The CCJ also declared that Section 72 of the Criminal Law Procedure Act violates separate of powers and is inconsistent with Articles 122A and 144 of the Constitution. The CCJ reserved its decision on cost. 45-year-old Elvis Fitzgerald Tuesday, who was nabbed with some 40.4 pounds of cannabis at the Eugene F. Correa International Airport, was today handed a 4-year jail sentence. Tuesday of Hunter Street, Albion was hauled before Her Worship Rachel Liverpool in the Sparenda Magistrates Court and pleaded guilty to the charge. He admitted that on March 12 at the Eugene F. Correa International Airport, he had 18.370 kg, 40.498 pounds of cannabis in his possession for the purpose of trafficking. The 45-year-old man, who was an outbound passenger traveling to Barbados, was intercepted by the ranks of the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit Canoe. A search was conducted on Tuesday and his luggage, during which 23 parcels of suspected cannabis were unearthed. The man was arrested and escorted to Canoe's headquarters with the suspected narcotics, which was later confirmed to be poppy weed, carrying a total weight of 18.370 kg, 40.498 pounds. The narcotics amounted to a street value of over $700 million. After listening to the facts of the matter, Her Worship Liverpool sentenced Tuesday to 4 years behind bars. Luan Williams reporting for MTV's Court Roundup.
We now take a look at tips for healthy living, brought to you with the kind compliments of Natura's High and Low Milk Powder, distributed by Dabby's Variety.
What does Natura High and Low Milk Powder have? It is fortified with the extra goodness of vitamins A, C, D, E, and K. It is high in calcium, protein, and enriched with folic acid, all of which help to strengthen your immune system. What it doesn't have is fat and cholesterol. Natura High and Low. Healthy can taste good. Available at all leading supermarkets and groceries nationwide. Natura High and Low Milk Powder is not for infants 1 year and under.
Top 10 medical causes of death in Guyana. Self-harm. While self-harm isn't necessarily a medical cause of death, it is among one of the top 10 causes of death in Guyana and can cause health complications. So before we find out what the #1 medical cause of death is, let's look at self-harm. What is self-harm? Self-harm, also known as self-injury, self-inflicted violence, and non-suicidal self-injury. It is the deliberate act of causing physical harm to oneself. While cutting can often appear to be a sign of attempted suicide, most children and teens who engage in self-injury are not actively suicidal. Unfortunately, there is always a risk of death involved in self-injurious behaviors, as the person may cut too deeply or hurt themselves beyond the point of which their body is capable of repairing the damage. As self-harming behaviors can become unintentionally fatal, any parent or guardian concerned for their child or teen should seek treatment immediately to prevent any complications and promote more positive outcomes. Signs and symptoms. As self-injury is often done in private, it can be challenging to know when a loved one or friend is engaging in self-harming behaviors. The signs and symptoms of self-injury will vary depending upon the methods a person uses, co-occurring disorders, and drug or alcohol use. Signs and symptoms of self-injury include behavioral symptoms, such as the need to spend increasing amounts of time alone, challenges in friendships and romantic relationships. Physical symptoms, scars from burns or cuts, fresh scratches or cuts, broken bones. Cognitive symptoms, ongoing questions about personal identity, thoughts of helplessness, hopelessness, or worthlessness. Psychosocial symptoms: emotional instability, depression, guilt, shame, and disgust. Causes: researchers in the field believe that self-injurious behaviors are not the result of one single factor, but rather a number of causes and risk factors working together. The most common causes of self-injury may include a combination of the following: genetic, a number of mental illnesses that can trigger self-harming impulses; physical, many mental health disorders are thought to be the result of imbalances in certain neurotransmitters in the brain, involved in emotional regulation and feelings of pleasure. These people may self-harm as a means to feel less empty or to control their emotions. Environmental, children and teens who have been abused physically, sexually, verbally, or emotionally are at a greater risk for developing self-injurious behaviors as a means to cope. During the abuse, these people were unable to express emotions and feelings in a healthy manner and learn to use self-injury to cope with the overwhelming emotions of the trauma. Treatment. There is no one best way to treat self-injuring behavior, but the first step is to tell someone so you can get help. Treatment is based on your specific issues and any related mental health disorders you might have, such as depression. Because self-injury can become a major part of your life, it's best to get treatment from a mental health professional experienced in self-injury issues. Some treatment options can include therapy, medications, and psychiatric hospitalization. Treating self-injury behavior can take time, hard work, and your own desire to recover.
What does Natura High and Low Milk Powder have? It is fortified with the extra goodness of vitamins A, C, D, E, and K. It is high in calcium, protein, and enriched with folic acid, all of which help to strengthen your immune system. What it doesn't have is fat and cholesterol. Natura High and Low. Healthy can taste good. Available at all leading supermarkets and groceries nationwide. Natura High and Low Milk Powder is not for infants 1 year and under.
The ISG and MTV's sport update comes up after the break. Stay tuned.
Visit Gaffu's Ironmongery department for all your building needs. Bolts and nuts, zinc plated, high tensile, anchor bolts and threaded rods. Package nails for your convenience, screws for wood, metal and concrete. Building a fence, we've got cast iron railheads and decorative fencing, gate slides and pivots, laser and barbed wire. For your carpentry needs, we stock tight bond, wood glues and Evo stick, hasps and staples, hinges, butts, catches and brackets, and a wide selection of modern design cupboard handles and knobs. Secure your property and loved ones with quality Yale products such as padlocks, available in several sizes and types, knobs, lever, deadlocks and decorative door locks. Moving heavy loads is easy with caster wheels and hand trucks that cater for any job. For construction, we've got scaffolding along with ladders, multi-purpose, extended, fiberglass and step ladders too. For everything you need under one roof, it's Gaffu's, the name you can trust.
How fast is fiber? Think fast. GTT Fiber has 3 packages with download speeds of 50, 100, and 150 megabits per second. That's fast enough to stream movies and music, to chat with Gran and Fran, to study, and more. What would you do? Upgrade to GTT Fiber today and don't get left behind tomorrow.
It happens. Your septic tank is full. All the waste from your toilet goes into your septic tank through the sewage line. When your tank is full, the 2 most common indicators are an overflowing tank and an overflowing toilet. It is recommended that Sevon's Waste Management empty your septic tank every 2 to 3 years to avoid any embarrassment. And before you can say, shh, it's gone. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455 or 218-1156.
Are you running around looking for construction materials? Well, run down to Lens for affordable, high-quality building supplies. We have the widest range of grade A floor and wall tiles in any shape, size, and designs. And all types of ceramics, porcelain glazed, and full body porcelain. We stock the largest collection of large format tiles. Check out our porcelain slabs as big as 10 feet by 4.5 feet. Add a bit of elegance with our large range of decorative molding. Our line of PPG paints will give you vibrant colors that won't fade. With our wall and ceiling gypsum system, it's light, durable, and fast. So come down to Len's at 136 Cher Street, which is next to Buddy's and Pizza Hut, for that 31 years of Len's quality.
Get the right seal right now from Industrial Supply of Guyana, Inc., your immediate SKF sealing solutions. The SKF Seal Jet Machine is capable of building seals from 5mm to 600mm in diameter in under 5 minutes. With technical support readily available, you can get a customized seal to suit virtually any industrial application, like buffer, rod, wiper, and piston seals. SKF Seal Jet Machine, now at Industrial Supply of Guyana, Inc.
Minister of Sport Charles Ramson Jr. has said the ongoing renovations to the Leonora Track and Field Center are set for completion before the end of the year.
Tenders were opened for the construction of a new western stand at the Leonora Track and Field Center in June 2021. Renovations and construction works then began in the last quarter of the year. Works include the ongoing construction of new spectator stands and the recently completed warm-up and long jump areas. These works are finally nearing completion, according to Sport Minister Charles Ramson Jr.
So it's on the final phases, I guess. Before it's going to be completed, it's going to be completed probably by the middle of this year. And then we have to install the bucket seats. So this is going to be the first stand at Lenora that'll have bucket seats, and it'll be our new design for all of the stands that we do.
The completion of this will allow Guyana to host the Carifta Games in 2023, which we have already been approved for. Notably, Guyana was originally set to host the Games in 2021, then in 2022, but both times were unable to do so due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Guyana will now host the 50th edition of the Games next year. The government is eager to host more international sporting events.
The President, His Excellency, had spoken about this maybe about a year back, and what you would have seen with our bid for hosting the CPL finals and semifinals is just an example of what we mean when we say that we want to become the home for regional events.
An announcement on whether Guyana has been approved as a CPL host country is expected before the end of the month. Minister Ramson added that the hosting of international events is invaluable to the development of local talent, as well as provides a boost to Guyana's sport tourism.
West Indies were hustled out for only 131 in the ICC Women's World Cup when a dominant Australia defeated them by 7 wickets at Basin Reserve in the group stage.
West Indies women's captain Stephanie Taylor's half-century was the bright spot of the innings for the West Indies, but unfortunately could not help them end Australia's win streak.
Obviously, going into the second innings, we knew we didn't have the score that we wanted on the board, but at the same time, we've shown a lot of fight throughout this entire tournament, and we were looking to do nothing different today. We knew we had a chance once we went out there and took early wickets like we would in any other game. So yeah.
Winning the toss and electing to bat first, West Indies women posted 131 all out in 45.5 overs. Captain Stephanie Taylor top scored with an even 50 from 91 deliveries. Shemaine Campbell had the next best figures with 20 off 51 balls. Campbell was eventually dismissed for 20 from 51 balls as Gardner claimed her first wicket of the day, with the all-rounder miscuing straight to wicket as Beth Mooney took the catch.
Taylor continued to provide resistance, despite runs being hard to come by against a disciplined bowling attack, but she found herself in need of a partner as Chanel Henry and Alia Allen both fell for 10.
We kind of said to ourselves, if we could get at least 2 or 3 wins out of these first 4 games, we'll be in a really strong position, and we've done exactly that. I think looking at the rest of the games, these are games that we should expect to win. And what's the good thing about it is that the tournament is still in our hands. If we go out there and we can win all 3 of our games, we'll be qualifying for these semifinals. So I don't think there's much pressure at the moment. We know that we have the kind of team, once we go out there and we play our best cricket, we'll get the wins on there.
West Indies women will travel to Tiranga, where they will play Bangladesh on March 18th at Bay Oval.
After a dramatic loss to England in the first Apex Test match, the West Indies will be returning to their second test at the Kensington Oval in Barbados. It was on this ground 3 years ago that they were blown away for 77 in their first innings, allowing the West Indies to coast to victory. The Kensington Oval is expected to be a hive of activity with the second Apex Test match, as the historic venue will now be able to operate at full capacity for fully vaccinated fans in the upcoming match. West Indies have named an unchanged 13-man squad with reserve batter Kyle Mayers and Anderson Phillip, the uncapped Trinidad fast bowler, once again waiting in the wings. The 3-match Apex Test series is still level following the draw in the first Apex Test at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium in Antigua. After losing his world #1 ranking just a week after earning it, Daniil Medvedev will be seeking the top spot yet again at the upcoming Miami Open tennis tournament.
Daniil Medvedev suffered a shock loss on Monday to tennis's official 5th major, allowing Novak Djokovic to reclaim his #1 spot, even though he was unable to play. Russian Medvedev was knocked out by France's Gael Monfils at the Paribas Open 1 in the 3rd round. Medvedev, who won the US Open last year and lost in the Australian Open final to Rafael Nadal in January, said he saw a path back to the top at the Miami Open later this month.
Now I know I'm going to lose it, so I have Miami to try to get it back. Usually feeling a little bit better in Miami in terms of tennis, so we'll try to play good there, you know. I always say when I play my best tennis, my good tennis, it's really tough to beat me, but that's the toughest part of tennis, is to reproduce it time after time.
The 26-year-old will have had just 3 weeks to enjoy life as world #1 when the rankings update, but said he was grateful for any amount of time at the top while in pursuit of more major titles.
You never know how your career is going to turn. I want to try to be better than I was here, you know, maybe fighting better, I don't know, because the 3rd set was not good enough. So it's kind of the same as just the previous question, you know. Is it better to be #1 for, let's say, 1 week in your life, or never touch it? You know, I think it's still better to at least touch it.
Notably, his short stint at #1 makes him the first man outside of the big four of Djokovic, Rafael Nadal, Roger Federer, and Andy Murray to reign at the top spot since 2004.
The Court of Arbitration for Sport, CAS, upheld UEFA's ban on Russian teams taking part in its competitions, while CAS deliberates on the case.
Soccer governing bodies FIFA and UEFA had decided together that all Russian teams, whether national or club sides, be suspended from participation in FIFA and UEFA competitions until further notice after Moscow's invasion of Ukraine. This is according to Reuters. The Russian Football Union appealed the ban, but the Appeals Arbitration Division of the Court of Arbitration for Sport denied the request until a final decision was made. The decision meant that the Spartak Moscow could not play their Europa League match, allowing German club to advance to the quarterfinals. The ruling only applies to UEFA competitions, with Russia still looking to overturn a FIFA ban that would allow them to take part in World Cup qualifying playoff matches scheduled for the end of this month. Russia were scheduled to host Poland in a World Cup qualifying playoff on March 24th. If Russia remained suspended at that time, they would be out of the World Cup and unable to progress to the finals in Qatar in November. The Polish Football Association had said that they will refuse to play against the Russian team, and the Czech Republic and Sweden, who are in the same playoff path, refused as well.
That brings us to the end of Sport Update, which was brought to you with the kind compliments of ISG. More after the break.
Over the years, ISG has been providing all sectors across Guyana with quality products and outstanding customer service. Proud distributor of NP and Ultra lubricants, engineered for tropical conditions. International trucks and parts, leading the change. SEM Machinery, a Caterpillar brand. SKF bearings and mounted products. Napa batteries. Tide power generators. Discover the greatest source of power. Industrial Supply of Guyana Inc. The best opportunity to make the right choice.
And that brings down the curtain on tonight's newscast. But before we go, here's a reminder of our top stories. Relevant precautions will be taken in case COVID cases rise, Health Minister assures, following the removal of restrictions. AFC calls on government to subsidize flour price in light of 15% increase. Hydromet Department issues flood warning for March 16 to 19. And in sport, Leonora Track and Field Center renovations slated for mid-year completion. Catch our rebroadcast tomorrow at 6 hours 30. Don't forget to like our Facebook page, where the news can be viewed live at 19 hours 30. On behalf of our news and technical teams, Ashley Scotland saying stay safe and goodbye for now.